And to me, in my head, I'm like, Teri is a new auntie.
I love it. I love being an auntie. It's the best.
Okay, good. Because sometimes people are not like, hey, don't call me that. So, you know, but you're auntie in my head.
That's my favorite role.
Yeah. Is that the first that you've heard that?
No, I haven't. I mean, first of all, I see it, I know it. I am an auntie, so, and I think for many people, I am that like sister, mother, uh, you know, older. I don't want to say older because you're as young as you feel, but that next generation, the next door neighbor that's guiding you through life and in the kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that you said you are as young as you feel because that is definitely what we see when you're sharing with us every day. Your energy, like even you in swimsuits. I'm like, yes, Teri. There is no limit to what you can do.
Right, absolutely. I mean, it's been so fun out of all that's unraveled at No Crumbs Left and all that's happened for me to have the opportunity to be a brand representative for LeBlanca has been just nothing but so much fun for me and so freeing because like everybody, there's always that like get in the dressing room in the bathing suit and then you look somewhere and you've got like a roll somewhere that's like, oh my God, do I look like that in the mirror where you're like, you turn a weird way? And to really reclaim it and have bathing suits be something that's like I love and that it's enjoyable and it's a luxury moment has been so much fun. It's been fun to share it. It's been fun to see the ripples in the community and the way people have reclaimed and not just going, I only wear a dark bathing suit, but I'm going to do prints and I'm going to do colors. And it's been amazing for me. And I like how it's transformed other people as well. And we do a lot of giveaways with the product. So it's a lot of fun to share. One thing I'm doing right now is they send me bathing suits, like maybe 100 a season. So at the end of the season, I clean out and I say, if you're a size 12 and you're a regular commenter, I've got a lot of bathing suits. And then people message and I let them pick a suit. And it's like the whole thing is like lovely for me. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I need to get on the bandwagon. I need to make sure I get into the number on the list so I could get me a swimsuit. But I love that. What do you think attracts people to you? Because I mean, you are a ball of energy. You're so authentic. You're so relatable and real across generations. Just everything. What do you think is one thing that attracts people to Teri?
I think it's like just the relatability. I like my partner always says, you're a strong cup of coffee, but I like a strong cup of coffee, so I've been able to share the journey, the places that it's taken me. And people have come along for the journey. They've shared some really sensitive, challenging moments in my life for sure. And I'm just always kind of real with what's going on. So I think for whatever reason, that's resonated with people, a regular person, with a regular body, and here's the thing, I'm not a trained chef. I'm a lifelong passionate foodie. Mostly I'm a gal that likes to eat and I've learned how to get there and make delicious food. So I have a lot of passion in the kitchen. And I think I have passion around people getting in the kitchen and cooking real food. We've lost touch with making our own food and everything is, something you're picking up. So I love to inspire people to get in and try something and learn something. Today a woman was like, I tried that lettuce wrap and it was a disaster. And I'm like, here's the thing. First of all, it's not easy to do. Second of all, it's not hard to learn, but it's not easy to do. I said the first time I got 4 heads of iceberg lettuce and I unpacked it and figured it out and get the 3 leaves and then you got to roll it. But if you roll it this way, the leaves break. And if you roll it this way, they don't. So I was like, don't get discouraged. You just got to get in there. It's like life. You got to get in there and you just got to keep going. So I think for whatever reason, it's resonated with people. I think people are always shocked, like the things I'll say. People get stunned because I'm like, I can't believe that No Crumbs Left lady is going to answer a question like that. And I have as many questions about life as I do about food.
Yeah, you do definitely. Like, you're always like, hey, question time or sharing your experience. Speaking of your partner, your love, Rory,
Yeah.
you guys going to Italy in the summer was just like, it was breathtaking. And for you to bring us inside of what's going on, like that is such a beautiful delight. You don't have to do that, but you do it. and you do it in a way, I'm pretty sure you still have your level of privacy.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
but you also still bring us in to, even if you're not cooking, you're like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I'm thinking about. This is what I'm wondering. And I love that about you because you're always evolving, you're always growing. It's never like a moment where we see and we feel that it's like, I'm just gonna stay here. And so you started No Crumbs Left. And it hasn't been like 20 years that you've been doing this, and you have just received rave reviews. They've become successful. Some people may say overnight, whatever you call it, you're successful. Where did this come from? No Crumbs Left. How did it happen for people who are not familiar with you?
Well, here's the thing. I've had a lifelong passion for cooking and meeting foodies and talking to foodies and chefs and also just deconstructing how to get to something on a recipe. And I don't mind trying a lot until you get it right. So there's always just, I've liked to eat and I've liked to cook and I've liked to entertain. People came to me for like recipes. What do I make for this? How do I make it? I did some cooking classes in my own home with like friends and things like that, some mom's night out. So I had a reputation of being someone who's a good cook, and I used to do cooking classes at the kids' school all through from JK through high school. I went to both kids' classes. And so I always taught to the kids and, just like getting in there and cooking real food. So my kids were like nearly out of the house and I was just like ready, because they were grown and I was kind of ready for another chapter. And I was just, it was kind of like everything from, am I going to start a book club? Am I going to go to a dance class? I mean, like, am I going to work in a flower shop? What am I going to do? And the journey just started. I had like 42 people following on Instagram and I decided just to start sharing what I like to share and what I like to do. And for whatever reason, an audience pulled up one
Yeah.
after another after another. And, a train.
You started with 42. Now let's maximize that. And where are you at today?
We are going to I think we're going to hit 500,000 this week.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're on track. We're on track to do that. So it's been a really fun journey and it's taken me, oh my gosh, all kinds of places that I never otherwise would have traveled to. And that is how life is. We don't know where it's going to take us, but it's like, if we keep following the threads, and to follow the thread and follow the thread, it's going to take us on a journey. If someone could have said like, what was your 5-year plan in 2015? Never in a million years would I have known. And the truth is, I don't know what my 5-year plan is now, but it's been fun to share this journey. I've gotten to partner with some like amazing brands. I wrote a Wall Street Journal bestselling cookbook. And, I get to create a lot of content around things that matter to me. I love to follow the food trends. What are people liking? What are people eating? What do I want to eat? How can I make that accessible? Like we had this post this week, the lettuce wrap went viral, like 7 million people on, I think it's actually like 10 million on Instagram, 7 million on TikTok. And, it's just like when those things happen, it's a lot of fun. And there are people will be like, well, apparently you're anti-carbs. And it's like, I'm not anti-carbs at all, but I like a lettuce wrap. It's like, go check out my Caesar salad sandwich, by the way, so it's just kind of funny to see like, this week we've had people like, well, you used iceberg lettuce in that's such a bad idea. Or they're just like all of the public opinion, which you can't take too seriously. You can't let it make you crazy. And I'm a sensitive person, so it can make you a little bit crazy, but it's been a really fun journey.
Yeah, that is truly amazing. Like, and you've been doing this, so the thing is, that I want to highlight to women is that you may have been doing something for 15, 20 years. And if you decide to pop into the social media space and share your passion, some people think like, oh, this just happened, where it's like, you've been naturally doing this. This has been a part of your life. Your friends have been enjoying your gift, your family, all this goodness that you've been sharing. Goodness is the word for Lincoln All Women right now. You've been sharing this goodness way before the world knew Teri. Yeah.
Absolutely. In many ways, everything I do is an extension of what I've always done. I've always shared with my
Mm.
friends what to make for dinner. I've always had my friends call and say, I'm thinking about doing a menu, because I've been and I had a job in catering and was like an event producer, so I know how to put on a lovely event. And I love sharing knowledge. I like having an auntie, or a niece that I can share that knowledge with. And the truth is, I got as much to learn from you as you do, from me. We find mothers, sisters all over the world. I'm 23 years without my mom, but I still need a mom. So I avail myself to the mother energy. I find women younger than me, older than me, who, give me that energy. So, I think it's important. And I think, if you're in a point in your life, where you're going through something, our chapters are not done. Our life is not over. We just have to keep making new chapters. And I think it's important to have a dream, to have things that you're manifesting, the things that you're believing, things that you're making true. And it's hard when it feels like it's a really down time to do that. But the truth is, our attitude and our belief and all of that, it steers us. It's like, if I'm feeling really negative, then I'm gonna tune into that energy of negativity. I'm gonna see negativity. I'm gonna only see the negative people. But if I feel like I'm gonna thrive, I'm gonna be okay, and I am like, I'm seeing the positive, I'm going to bring the positive to me. I'm gonna attract the positive to me. So, to me, this idea of manifesting is really, really important. And this idea, I think it's Mel Robbins that said, what would we do if we didn't believe that we could fail? Like, what would we do? Like, what if it all works out? I mean, that's something Mel says that I love. It's like, what if it all works out? And
What if it works
just sort
out?
of
Yeah.
live in the energy of, may this or something better now manifest. And it hasn't worked out yet. So we're not at the end. We're not there yet.
Yeah, and it's all a mindset. And so you brought up your mother, and you have introduced us to your mother, and you share your mother with us as if she's still here. And that is so beautiful for you to again invite us into Teri's world. What is something that your mother taught you about, having a positive mindset, going after the things that you desire? Because again, you have become this sensation on social media, and you, to me, Teri, I mean, you are just living your best life.
Thank you. Thank you. I
And
kind of am,
at
for
least
sure.
at least that's what I feel, that's what we feel. You are living your best life, and you are saying, I'm living my best life, and you can too. So what are some of
Absolutely.
the things that your mom taught you about your mind, your mindset, and also to live your best life no matter what season you are in?
Absolutely. I mean, my mom was definitely the person that was always doing the secret lovely thing for somebody else. She was always paying it forward. It was always like, let's pay for the toll for the person, behind us. That unconditional act of kindness. She was always that person. She made a difference. She made a difference in her community. My mother always saw the best in people. My mother always would say, you don't know what's going on in someone's life to make them act that way. She was the embodiment of that. So here she's gone 23 years, but we're still learning from her. She's still teaching us. She's still inspiring us, and the only thing that we can really do is we can bring her along in the world, and continue to celebrate the Patty Turner spirit. And I do with my kids. I do with my friends. I do with my family. I do with my sisters. I think she would be so proud of the way that we've kept her alive. And not in lay in bed and we're sad that we don't have a mother, which,
Yeah.
by the way, we do sometimes, but it's more like to be that Patty Turner spirit, to be making a difference. I remember when I was a little girl, and my mom she was a fortunate person, and she knew that if you've been given much, much is expected of you. So I remember a point that she donated a church to the piano, and I was like, she did it anonymously. And I was like a little girl. I was like, well, why do you do it anonymously? And she's like, well, if you're giving a piano to the church so that you have to tell people, then you probably should reconsider. So she just quietly made a difference in the world, going around, not getting credit. And she was amazing, and her spirit lives on. And she taught us a lot about music, love and laughter. So we energize that in every way that we can. And when the days are tough, I always think I want to live a life that Patty Turner would be proud of. I want to know whenever I see her, she's going to say, girl, I can't believe you did that, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks to Miss Patty Turner because her spirit is running through you, and we get to feel that beautiful energy of you giving your gift because it's a gift that you're sharing with us. And you could have chosen to keep it amongst your family, keep it amongst your friends, but something inside of you said, you know what? Let me just go on and share. Let me try. Let me see what this is about. And it led you to this. So I have more than three of your favorite recipes that I love that I've tried in the kitchen. One of them is the Nashville hot chicken.
Love it.
One of them is the salmon bowl. And also what I'm looking to try is the blueberry, I believe it's the blueberry loaf.
Yes. Now that is actually want to say that is Ottolenghi's recipe that I have on my blog, but the blueberry
Okay.
crumble in the book is amazing. And I want you to know we've got a new Mediterranean salmon bowl that's coming like in maybe it goes live today. It's spectacular, by the way.
Wait. I can't wait because I am definitely a salmon lover. But that salmon bowl, I believe I made it back in June. And it just gave me life. It just gave me life. So how do you, I know that you have your cookbook, but like, how does the meals come to you? You know, like, what do you do? What's the process?
Well, sometimes it's like, what do I want to eat? And how do I get there? Often it's inspiration on Instagram. It's inspiration in the world. It's seeing you go to a restaurant, you're like, oh, meatballs. You know what? I should create my own recipe for meatballs. I want to do a chicken meatball because I want it to be like a little different. And I'm gluten-free, so I want it to be gluten-free. And then it's like recipe testing and trying different things. And it's like, are we going to have ricotta? And is it one egg or two eggs? You know, sometimes it's simple, like, oh, I love Caesar salad, and we want to expand on the thought of Caesar salad. So it's like we have a Caesar stuffed potato, and we end up doing this Caesar grilled sandwich where we do the sandwich and we've got the cheese, and then it's amazing. And then you open it up and you put the lettuce and the Caesar dressing and the marinated onions. So sometimes it's that. And then it's like, well, I like the crouton. So how could I do just a Caesar salad toast? You know, so it's just like expanding on the idea. It's fun to see what resonates with people, you know, what doesn't resonate with people. It's a lot of fun, but it's a process to do it because it's like you got a recipe test, and you might have to recipe test 3 times. And then when I'm done with it, I send it to Ann Volkheim, who then recipe tests my recipe. And I'm like, Ann, please find mistakes. And please tell me, you know, because I'm not a trained chef. I'm a girl who likes to cook, but I know how to put it together. Writing the recipes is 100% the worst part for me because I don't even, it's like a pinch of that, a pinch of this, you know. But it's a lot of fun. And then when we, you know, sometimes I just see something on Instagram. I see panini and this panini shop, you know, in New York doing this lettuce wrap. And then I'm going, God, I'd love to do that. I'm even calling them and saying, this lettuce wrap, and how do you guys get the core out? You do this. And so the process is actually quite a lot of fun. And I always give credit, like this panini shop, you know, that I saw their post. I always give them credit. I mean, it's a lot of fun. You know, I went to San Diego and I had the broccoli, this campfire broccoli. It's like amazing. And then I said to them, I'd like to do a version of this. How would you feel if I created my own spinoff on yours? And they're like, well, we'll give you like a little framework. So they give me something, not enough to get anywhere, but it got me started. And then we recipe test. And then we include the restaurant and we tag them and we put them on our blog post, and we get a lot of goodwill because people are like, you know, there's a woman, for example, she inspired me with a recipe like 5 years ago. I'm still tagging her going, this actually originally came from. So I think people love that spirit of inclusion. And I just think if you put out good stuff in the world, you know, you keep doing it and something good will come back. And we have periods of like, we were in a lull for months where you're like, oh, there's nothing we're doing that's really sticking. And then suddenly you get the momentum, something hits, it creates a change in the algorithm. Then everybody's seeing your stuff. It's exciting. And so we just keep trying, even in the lean times where it's like, oh, it's not happening for us. You know, we're not having those viral posts, you know, but you keep you keep doing it. And then I just think if you love what you're doing, that's helpful. And I like eating. And by the way, when we make the Caesar toast with the fried egg on top, it's really good.
It sounds amazing. Yeah, it definitely sounds amazing. And to me, I'm just like, the way you share the knowledge, you're definitely a teacher, you may not believe it, but just the how you communicate and share the recipes and step by step. I mean, it's so simplistic and form to me. It's like, how could you not get it?
Yeah.
How could you not get it? And then also too, and you can tell me, but you're inspiring us. But when we get in the kitchen, we can add our own special sauce
A
to it.
hundred percent.
You do what you want
Yeah.
to with it. So I'm like, I made my salmon bowl. I think I may have changed the sauce a little bit or something like that, or cook the salmon a little longer. But it's like Teri inspired me. I'm gonna add my little, sauce kick to it, and then it's gonna be amazing. Because for one, I know Teri's recipe is amazing. Yeah.
I love that people add their own spin. I'm always saying my recipes are, which is why I don't like baking, because recipes you really have to follow those. But I always go, these are inspirations. Sometimes you might get a cookbook, you might open it up and you go beef pepperoncini. Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get those ingredients. I'm going to make something like that. And I like that. And I love that people do the spin. This new Mediterranean salmon bowl we have. It's like, you can do couscous, you can do rice, you can do lentils, you can do beans, you can do tofu.
Mm-hmm.
Truth is, I'm going to do salmon, but somebody could do chicken or steak. I do hummus and baba ganoush, but somebody could do, white bean dip or cashew crema. It's just like, this is a lovely way to eat for autumn. And, just it should inspire us to go in our refrigerator and make anything that we've got.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh, I mean, today I had broccolini. So before we got on the podcast, I made myself a whole big pan of broccolini because I know fiber in the morning's a really good thing, So anyways, it should inspire us to be creative is really more than anything else.
Yes, you over inspired. So can you give us a couple of meals that we can go to the blog and, go to your page and check out for autumn, for this fall, and, sliding into winter if you can?
Yeah, I really like these. I like this new, and it'll be way live by the time this goes. But for example, the trout almondine from this weekend. It's a brand new recipe. It's taking a piece of fish. It's sautéing it up. And then in that lovely fat, it's sautéing sesame seeds and walnuts for like a lovely crumble, and then sprinkling that over the fish, sautéing whatever vegetables in that same pan, and then serving with, something like a rice. I mean, that is so lovely. So not only can they go to the Instagram, to the blog, but you can also, go over to the Instagram. I mean, something that I think is spectacular, and it's a little bit of work, is my Whole30 pomegranate salad. So it's got a lovely protein. It's got avocados and olives and marinated onions with a creamy chive dressing. I mean, it is so lovely. And, that's something that I think is lovely for fall because we like this idea of seasonal eating. Something else I really like, I have so many things I like is, I like my grilled Caesar sandwich. It's so great. And you can make the protein that I have. Truth is, and it's perfect because it's all marinated up, but you could do it with rotisserie chicken if you don't have time for that,
Okay.
I love my Sunday salads. There's a vegan one, there's an Italian one, there's a Whole30 one, there's a summer one. And the work is just in the chopping and prep. But like on a Sunday, if you're going to gather with people, you do one of these antipasto. So it's like you've got what do I have in here? I have like manchego, and I have mozzarella and pepperoncini and radicchio and peppadew peppers and, olives and marinated onions. And then I have a creamy, a creamy green onion dressing, a charred green onion. I mean, it's some work, but the reality is delicious food is, and you can gather with community, with friends, with neighbors, cook together, enjoy a beautiful meal. I would rather have, a couple of really special meals once a week. But stuff like my sizzling everyday roast chicken breast, 30 minutes, bone on, skin on. If you like a lot of heat, put a lot of heat on, but it's just using that chicken with skin on, bone on. It's so delicious. You just eat it, and it's get protein, so good for you. But you can use it for a taco or a sandwich or a salad. It's wonderful meal prep. Make chicken salad with it. So I also have things like that. And I in the No Crumbs Left cookbook, I've got all kinds of wonderful ideas. It was Wall Street Journal best-selling. You can get it on Amazon for a good price. If you can support your local bookstore, it's so much better. And there are lots of wonderful ideas in there. People love the cookbook because there's amazing pictures. I've got something with like my 48 kitchen tips, because I have a lot of great tips that really elevate your cooking, that are simple, that are simple tips that take you from a good cook to a much better cook.
Okay. And
And
do
the other
you
thing I just want to say is we're all learning from each other in the kitchen all the time, all the time.
Yes. Do you have any, anything that we could purchase? I know that I've seen that you had like your No Crumbs Left apron. Like,
Right.
what is some Terry products that we can have while we're in the kitchen?
I love it. There's not so much now. There's the apron. You nearly have to beg to get it. We had a pottery line, which was so wonderful, but the pottery line ended. So right now we're just kind of coasting with what we're doing. So many wonderful offerings on the blog. But I love, when people sign up to be subscribers. When people come over to the page and comment and support the work, we love it. When people use our links, for Maiden and Frank and Eileen and the different brands. It's a wonderful way to support us because the content that we offer is no charge.
Right, right, yeah. Now I have to ask you, Terry, as we're wrapping up, how often are you in the market? How often are you in the stores?
Well, here's the lucky thing. I have someone that does my shopping every morning. So she gets a list for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and she does the shopping. So I'm very, very lucky. That being said, I'm still in the market, 3 or 4 days a week. And I love going to different markets, going to, the Italian market, going to the Middle Eastern market, going to the fish store, Dirk's in Chicago, or going to Paulina Meat Market. I love all of the different places that we can go and different foodies that we can meet.
Health is wealth, and you're all about empowering everybody, especially women.
Yes.
What do you want to leave us with as far as managing our health?
I mean, this is the only body we're going to have. The time to embrace it is right now. Um, you know, hydrating, sleeping, movement, what we eat, how we treat our body is and rest, by the way, in there. It's so crucial that we embark on a journey for our own health and see what that means. And we are growing and changing in that all the time. You
Yeah.
don't get to this one place, I mean, some years back I was doing Whole30 a bunch and I really love that. Now I'm doing intermittent fasting. I'm 450 days in. I do it every single day. It's been a magic elixir for my health. So there isn't a one recipe size fits all, but I think you have to be curious about your own life, about your own health, and it has to be prioritized. And really for longevity, the time to embrace it is not at my age, but the time to embrace it is, many years ago. Here's the thing. I've been on a healing journey since I was 20 years old. I've always been curious about my health. I've tried so many different things. So it's like, start a journey and understand the universe is going to bring you what you need. You just say, I'm ready. I want to start a journey, or someone has a healing crisis and they're like, I got to make some changes, and I'm always saying, I got to make some changes. So we just all keep growing and changing, and the time is now. It's this moment right now.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Terry, thank you so much.
My pleasure.